Good evening, Fernwood. It is your Be Kind Rewind buddy Neil here, and it's time for us to kindly watch this final rerun season episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we will be watching episode 53 from March 17th, 1976. We've got a couple of beats to recap, so let's get started. Tom and Mary are back together, though Mary is looking for help in the bedroom. Mary has engaged the assistance of Mona Mackenzie, a sex surrogate that she met at the Fernwood Library. Kathy and Steve are about to be married, though Steve recently went on a publicity tour for his book of poetry and caused some jealousy in Kathy when he met an attractive actress on a talk show. That is my recap of 2 weeks worth of episodes. That's what you're getting today. But let's go ahead and start this final rerun season episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman.
Everybody, don't stand. It's only me, happy and smiling.
I'm already standing.
Hello, little stranger. You notice I'm not complaining because you didn't come home last night.
Now, don't say anything about me not coming home last night. I've got some great news. I'm going to Hollywood with Steve.
She has a fever. George, does she have a fever?
She doesn't have a fever, but I'm getting a headache.
It's all right, really. We're going to get married there. Oh, I am so happy I can cry.
But, Kathy, I just got used to the engaged part.
Well, Mom, love is fast.
You know something, Kathy? When I was your age, if a girl were fast, her parents would slow her down.
I'm in love, and it's all publicity.
You mean the marriage?
No, going to Hollywood. You see, This big producer saw Steve on the Johnny Tilson show and read some of his poems. So he wants him to come to Hollywood to help with the dialogue and stuff on his film. And his publishers want him to go there to, promote the book. Oh, God, there's so many things happening, I can hardly stand it.
Martha, do we have any aspirin?
Isn't that nice, George?
Daddy, aren't you happy for me? Come on, say something.
I'm getting a headache.
Oh, well, I'll just take that as your way of saying congratulations.
Ooh.
Oatmeal?
It was easy to fix. I've been too nervous to fix anything difficult.
Martha, I don't like oatmeal.
Neither does Pa, but he ate it. George, can you believe that our little girl is going off and getting married?
I can believe her going to California. Getting married, I'll believe when I see it.
Oh, but Steve is so sincere. And even you like him now.
I like him better.
But just think how proud you're going to be when you tell all the men at the plant that you have a celebrity in the family.
Yeah, I guess it won't be too bad. Some of the guys were talking about him yesterday. They saw him in that Johnny Tilson show. They called him What's His Fingers, the guy that was talking to the sexy movie broad.
Well, I hope that sexy broad lady doesn't cause Kathy too much trouble when they all wind up out there in Hollywood.
Well, it looks like everybody makes trouble for everybody else out in Hollywood.
So it seems from what you read. Well, at least we can find out if what Loretta says is true. You know about those gold stars built into the concrete sidewalks?
What does Loretta say about the gold stars that are built in the sidewalks?
Well, she says that under every gold star, there's a real star buried, standing straight up and down.
Well, what about somebody like Wayne Newton? He's got a star, and he's still walking around singing Dunk a Shine.
Well, then I guess they must leave a big vertical hole, and then when they die, they just plop them in there.
Where's Kathy this morning?
She's still getting ready.
I thought she was getting ready last night.
Well, she's just trying to pack the right things, to make a good impression on all those important people out there in Hollywood.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, there's my little pack rat.
Oh. You want some oatmeal?
Oh, no, I think I'll just have a cup of coffee.
You excited, honey?
Excited? Are you kidding? I can hardly think.
She doesn't have to be excited for that.
Get that from your side of the family.
Oh, that reminds me.
What?
What about your shower?
I already took one.
No, your bridal shower.
Mother, I don't have time for that. Steve and I are leaving for California.
Oh, I think all girls should have a bridal shower, at least one. After that, of course, it gets a little pushy.
Mother, I don't have time to discuss this with you. I have to be over at Steve's to discuss the details of the trip.
Okay, how much is it going to cost?
Don't worry. I'm going to put it on Mommy's credit card.
Did you hear that? She hasn't called me Mommy since she was 10.
Well, I haven't felt this happy since I was 10.
Oh, Kathy, baby. Your daddy and I are almost as happy for you as you are.
We are. We love you, honey doll.
Oh, and I love you both. Mwah. Mwah. Listen, I've got to be going. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, Tom, you want some oatmeal?
Sure, you can have mine.
No, thanks. I just want to talk a minute, all right?
Oh, you miss Kathy. Oh, Tom, she was so happy.
Oh, yeah? Where's she going?
California?
Oh, that's nice. Listen, George, I want to talk to you about my disciplinary hearings.
Tom, I told you not to buck the union.
I didn't buck the union. I went against management, but the union took their part, for God's sakes. And that's what I wanted to ask you.
You want to ask me, how do you fight the disciplinary committee when you get demerits from the plant foreman?
That's right. I want to know how the hell you're going to represent me if you expect me to vote for you.
Well, of course I expect you to vote for me, Tom. You're my son-in-law.
Well, then what the hell are you going to do for me? Huh? Are you mad enough to stand up and fight these idiot charges? Fight for some decent reform in the union, are you?
Don't point
Are you
your
mad enough?
finger.
I won't point my
Don't point
finger.
your finger at me. I'm man enough not to take any words from a hothead that's a nitwit.
Is that your answer, George?
Yes, that's my answer.
All right, then let me tell you something, George. This election is going to have a new candidate in it. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, who's that?
Me!
Oh,
Hello. Well, I was en route to Hollywood and I thought I'd stop off. Oh, I'm very happy to see you too. Very happy.
Anyway, it is just the most exciting good luck I've ever heard of in my life.
What's that?
Our good luck about the record.
Oh, no, not what's that. What's that this?
Oatmeal. My mother found a special. She bought 10 boxes.
Oh, Mary, thank you so much. But I can't stand oatmeal. You know, I'll just have toast and coffee.
What depresses me about oatmeal is that it's like a state of mind. You know, when you're feeling all gooky and depressed, you're feeling like oatmeal looks.
Charlie, you're sounding all gooky and depressed.
I tell you, there's definitely something going around. Huh? It's like paint peeling off of walls. Everyone's peeling.
Well, now listen, let's quit talking about peeling and depression and everything. Let's talk about my record.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I think it's wonderful about your record. All that money.
Well, we haven't exactly got the money yet.
But we will.
At least that's what our angel of mercy says.
See, that's what Charlie calls Clyde, who was the recording engineer, you know, at my recording session. Well, he sent my voice tapes to his brother in Detroit.
By mistake. But that guy in Detroit really knows how to spot talent.
He just loved my singing. And he went ahead and sent them just without him asking us or anything, you know.
I guess you could say the Lord acts in strange and mysterious ways.
Doesn't he? He is so mysterious, you hardly know he's there. Huh? You know what I mean?
Oh, well, he's there, Mary. He's definitely there. Because we know that, because he's been testing us and everything. You know, first with the losing the dubs, then the car accident, then me not being able to walk.
But we never lost our faith.
Not for a minute, because, Mary, that's what makes this country the greatest country in the whole world, which it is.
Of course, this time, we ain't going off half-cooked like the last time. I mean, we've got to see if the record takes off right, if it gets properly promoted and all like that.
Yeah.
And then, this time, I'm not going to make the mistake of last time. This time I'm going to look good at anything I'm signing when they hand me a contract. I mean, I damn near lost my birthright signing that loan agreement with the finance company, but never again, right, Loretta?
Right. Charlie, a contract never comes on just one little single piece of paper, does it?
I suppose it could, honey. Did somebody give you a piece of paper?
Well, they just gave me this little itty-bitty, teensy-weensy little agreement, but it wasn't on one of them blue cover things or nothing. It was just one page, and you was in the bathroom. I just didn't want to disturb you or nothing, you know.
Did you read the fine print?
Well, there wasn't any fine print, but I didn't read it because I figured, heck, hey, you know, if somebody is going to cheat you, they wouldn't just put it down there in black and white.
Yeah, I guess you could be right.
Mary, is something wrong with you?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I thought I heard more paint peeling.
I guess you didn't sign anything wrong, honey. I mean, anyway, who'd want to cheat the sweetest little hummingbird in the whole U.S. of A., huh? Hi, Tom.
I just had it out with your old man. Charlie, Loretta, how are you?
Hi, Tom, we were just talking about oatmeal. Great.
You want some oatmeal?
No, thanks. Actually, I just want you to be the first to know. Well, I mean the second.
Know what?
I'm running in the elections against your old man.
Holy sheep dip.
Against my father? You kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I've had it with union and the management. I've had them with both of them, and maybe I can change things from the inside, maybe.
Oh, Tom, it's all my fault. You got caught in the middle when I was trying to sell my raffle tickets.
No, it's not anybody's fault, Charlie. It's just something that's been building up for a long time, that's all.
I know what you mean.
How do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I just do.
You see, honey? You see, we do communicate, you see? Let me kiss.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Now he wants me to be a candidate's wife. How am I supposed to deal with that? What time is it?
Oh, Mary, you'll have plenty of time to deal with it, really.
No, I don't mean what time is it. I mean, what time is it? I'm expecting somebody. What time is it? Personal. She's here.
You want us to go?
Oh, no, of course not. You can stay. Just let yourselves out the back.
Guess I should go.
Come on, honey, bring your toast.
Oh, I don't want any toast.
Lover.
Whew, I'll tell you, honey, that Mary's just going to wear herself to frazzle.
Honey, what kind of a piece of paper did you sign? Can you remember anything it said on it?
Well, Charlie, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember much of anything.
I'm so glad you could come. Come on and sit down. No, that's my seat. Would you like something to drink? Some apricot nectar of the gods?
Oh, no, thank you.
It's getting worse.
Your friend's sex problem?
No, her husband's sex problem. I think she needs a sex therapist. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I think he needs a sex therapist. I mean, it's me.
I know.
Well, then let's sit down.
We are.
You do know. You see, the problem is, Mrs. Mackenzie.
Call me Mona.
Oh, Mona. Is that I don't know how much to expect from sex. Mona.
Well, how much do you want?
Oh, I don't know. How much should I want?
Well, you should want satisfaction, comfort, excitement.
Excitement. Now, is that anything like skyrockets? I mean, how do I know when it's real excitement?
Oh, you don't have anything to measure against, do you?
I don't know. You see, I don't know. I was 17 when I married Tom, and we never, Oh, but never. Oh, but never. Not until 4.5 weeks after we were married.
Really?
Yeah, I came down with a low-grade staph infection on our honeymoon.
I see. Tell me, what is your husband's approach to sex?
Well, he kisses me first, and then he sort of pushes me over, and...
Oh, no. I mean, does he have any problems?
Yes. I'd hate to talk about him when he isn't here. He doesn't seem to want me very much lately.
Ah, could be performance anxiety.
Oh, no. We never do it in front of people.
No, dear. Performance anxiety is when the man worries too much about how well he's doing at pleasing you.
Oh. No, I don't think that's one of Tom's problems. I don't even think he even thinks of me while he's making love to me. You know, Kathy once asked me if I thought he had a pilot light.
Who?
Kathy, my sister, asked me about Tom.
Your husband.
Right.
Does he have a pilot light? I mean, in your estimation.
Basically, yes. We have a child. And then, well, this next part, I don't know, it just embarrasses me.
I'm a professional.
Well, he met this other woman, and then things got better, and then things got worse again.
He had an affair?
No, just a couple of times. But at first, after that, you know, when we got back together, it was terrific.
Terrific?
Well, good.
How good?
Fair. I mean, it was just that when my neighbor started telling me, you know, how good hers was, and then my sister started telling me how good hers was.
Oh, you should never compare your sexual experiences with anyone else's. Every person is different.
I know, but, you know, when one person is telling you about, you know, a speeding locomotive, and the other person is telling you about the 4th of July, and all you can do is remember how long it took, or that the faucet in the bathroom was leaking. I mean, something's wrong, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Something's wrong. Is your husband aware of how you feel?
Yes, but he thinks I'm just complaining. Do you think we need help?
Yes, I would say so.
Can you...
Mrs. Hartman, in 9 cases out of 10...
Call me Mary.
In 9 cases out of 10, I am successful. But that requires the cooperation of the person I'm treating. Now, first, I'd like to start with your husband.
Oh, why start with him? Isn't it my problem?
Well, I just thought your husband had the more urgent problem. But I'd be happy to work with you first. Just for starters, Mary, what's the first thing you think about when I say sex?
I think you better start with him.
Do you think he'd cooperate?
Oh, we just won't tell him.
Well, you'd have to know.
No, just say that you're an old friend of mine from high school, and then he'll get to know you.
Oh, but a surrogate doesn't work that way.
What?
Surrogate.
Oh, I thought you were a therapist.
Well, sometimes it's the same thing. Mary, are you sure you think the surrogate approach is the right approach?
Absolutely.
Because some wives are very hostile about the kind of work I do.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm very broad-minded. I believe in communication.
Then let's see how far we can get.
Good.
Mary? Mary? Oh, I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, no, that's okay, Kathy. This is an old friend of mine from school, Mona Mackenzie.
Mona. I don't remember anybody named Mona.
You don't remember me because I was a transfer student.
And then she transferred out, and now she's back.
Mary, listen, there's something that I forgot to tell you last night.
What was I doing last night?
I don't know, but I was really busy packing. Steve and I are going to Hollywood.
Are you kidding?
Nope, and we're probably going to get married there.
Oh, Kathy, I'm so happy for you. Mona, isn't that wonderful? My little baby sister's going to get married and go to Hollywood at the same time. Oh, Kathy, I'm just so happy I could cry for joy.
Oh, me too. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I love you, Mary. I love you so much.
And I love you too, little one.
You haven't called me that in a long time. Oh, and I still hate it. See you later, Mary.
Say hello to Steve for me. Isn't she wonderful? Oh, and he's so nice, too. He's sweet and sincere and deaf and mute. Not dumb, but mute. But very sweet and very sincere and very mute.
Ooh, I can't believe it. I mean, I just can't believe how sensitive to things you are. Ooh, I'm so glad I let my agent talk me into that appearance on the Johnny Tilson show. Oh, and then I took a chance and came to Fernwood. I mean, who ever heard of Fernwood, Ohio? My agent said I was crazy. Are you glad I came? Oh, but you have a girlfriend, and you said you were going to get married, and... Oh, you mean that was before you realized how I felt about you?
Hi, I just brought some groceries.
I'm Kate.
In my shirt. Don't go. What do you want to do, have a party? I'm sorry I interrupted.
I guess it won't be necessary to write that letter now.
And that is the last that we see of Steve. Let's jump back to the top there. There is so much oatmeal in this episode, and I only wish anyone liked oatmeal in this episode. I personally like oatmeal, though I typically will put things in it. My favorite mix is chunky peanut butter and honey. I think I might be the only person who does that, but tell me what you eat in your oatmeal when you have the oatmeal. In this first scene, it's recapping all of the stuff with Kathy and how she feels, how excited she is to be taking the trip, that she's getting married. Martha and George share their feelings about it, and Martha has always been a little bit more accepting of Steve. George has always had a fairly bigoted response to him, and sadly, because he is written off in this way, it almost makes it seem like George is justified. But George's opinion was always about not wanting someone with a handicap or a hearing disability in the family, and not in that Steve will just betray you at the drop of a hat. Every other instance of seeing Steve, other than the talk show, has been Steve really being faithful to Kathy, like really a great listener and a good family member, and for some reason this is the way they write him off. And I'm a bit disappointed in that, because I think there was an opportunity to have a richer story, but I guess maybe the writers were just tired of writing for a character who did not speak. I don't really know the justification of it, but I'm a bit disappointed. I figure it's worth knowing exactly where Steve went, between watching this last rerun season and wherever we are next. But yeah, that's where we are. Then we get a scene between Loretta and Charlie talking about the music deal that they have, that they are very lucky to get. Loretta is, of course, able to walk because that's how the trope works. And Mary gives them just a little bit of a boost out before Mona Mackenzie shows up and starts the conversation. And I was... So, because Tom's early problems in the show are never verbally stated, it's a little bit difficult to talk about the sex problems between Tom and Mary. It's just never stated, though it could be assumed that Tom was impotent. And that, again, because it's not stated, it's difficult. In this episode, Mary suggests that he has a pilot light, and we've seen that he has been able to sleep with May, and he has on occasion, usually after an ugly fight, slept with Mary. But in this case, Mary's problems are more that the sex in the bedroom isn't very good. And that's a bit of a different situation than I imagined for the first chunk of this show, that Tom was just not interested in Mary and possibly was feeling pressure that seemed like erectile dysfunction. And in this case, it's more like, well, when we finally do get to it, he doesn't think of me as a person, and I don't feel fireworks. That's what Mary says anyway. And we'll take fireworks as code for orgasm. Mary has not ever had an orgasm, either by her own hand or others. She just doesn't know what it feels like. And I don't know that I can fairly talk about what that experience might be like, but it seems like a lot of pressure for a woman. And I feel like at least one good piece of advice that Mona gives to Mary is to never compare your sexual experience to anyone else's. I don't know that I would go straight to, hey, let's do the surrogate thing for Tom, because it really seems like Mary is the person who has the orgasm issue. Like, Mary could be exploring through self-manipulation, for instance, though Mona seems to think that Tom is the first person to check out. Mary is the person that's in the room. Maybe talk about what Mary could do for herself first. Tom is an issue, but at the moment, and I've said this before in many, many episodes, I wish that Mary and Tom were somehow on the same page. It sounds like when Mary brings it up that Tom dismisses it, which is awful. When I see Mary bringing it up, she's usually using some kind of code. And that's the difficulty. And when Mary actually does say things verbally out loud, it feels like an attack to Tom. That's not a blame on Mary, but just a... Mary and Tom need tools to communicate. We've talked about this before. I wish that they had the tools to communicate, and I wish that Mary would say, and I don't remember her ever saying something to this effect, I'm not satisfied in bed, or I would like to experiment with something in bed and learn together. That tactic of joining forces with someone, I think, is much stronger in a relationship, speaking as a person with very little good relationship experience, but it seems much stronger to join forces with someone in working together to solve a problem than it is to say, you're not doing well, or I'm unsatisfied. And, you know, there are a lot of contexts that need to be seen, points of view that need to be looked at. I tend to look at Tom and Mary through each pair of eyes. I look at Mary and how she sees herself and how she sees Tom. I look at Tom and how he sees himself and how he sees Mary. And I think it would be possible for them to address their issues, but they are not working together and they're not on the same page. And Mary is unclear at communicating, though at this point in the series she believes that she's excellent at communicating and that is her main skill. then poor Kathy coming into Steve and that very, very character annoying Kate. That laugh is so particular. And as a person who does love to do characters and finds characters through various means, that laugh. But that laugh is annoying, but I think it's an annoying choice as opposed to like this person is annoying and they don't know it. I think that laugh is a choice to say this character is annoying and I'm specifically choosing to make this character annoying. But I mean, I already talked about Steve and the way they wrote him off of this show. I wonder what would have happened if Steve and Kathy actually got married and we would see the problems in the relationship. You know, I think that even when a relationship goes well, it has problems. And something in this show is usually there's a thought in this show that when a relationship is going badly, it has problems, and when it's well, you don't have problems. That seems to be a way that this show presents relationships, and except for George and Martha, who have a lot of problems, but they are happy in the relationship. But maybe that's a little bit of learning to put up with some bull, you know what I mean? But even when you are doing well in a relationship, there are going to be problems. And it's a question of how you address them. And in the case of George and Martha, how you ignore them. I tend to not like ignoring problems, but there we are. So that is the final rerun season episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. We are going next week to start season 2 of the show, and I'm very, very excited about that. I can say, I gotta say thank you to everyone who's watched along with me on this weird journey as I figure out how to watch a show in front of you. I made this show because I just wanted to watch TV with people, and COVID did not allow for that. So here we are. The world is changing. I'm going to continue with the show. Don't worry, even though things are starting to open up in America. But thank you so much for sharing that time with me. Before I say goodbye to you, I'm going to shine the spotlight on a show that is quite different than the other shows I have recommended before. It is, I think, a show that has a lot of great healing in it and a lot of great models for how to improve oneself. And that is the modern remake of Queer Eye that is available on Netflix. I don't know how many seasons there are, but Queer Eye is a reality show which looks every episode at one hero character as they are visited by the Fab Five, who are a queer bunch, mostly queer men and one non-binary person, who visit and take a look at various aspects of this person's life. The show looks at the mental health and social skills of a person. It looks at how they are making choices to present themselves to the world. It looks at what tools they have to get through the day. And every episode is a look at improving the life of a person through love and listening, and I very much find most of the episodes I'm quite touched. It kind of reminds me of the late season 1 episodes, which rerun season doesn't look at, but if you're watching this and you've been watching for a while, you probably did see the end of season 1. If you haven't, wait until you watch it. But it reminds me of that because Mary gets looked at under a lens, sort of, and it's fun. But Queer Eye, I'm going to put a trailer up here. There are several seasons up on the Netflix, and I think even one episode is usually a nice little shot to your day. So I hope that works out for you. Thank you so much for joining me for rerun season. I'm really excited to watch season 2 in just a few days. Thank you again for being kind with me, and we will see you next season in Fernwood.